So I started collecting Casio watches, and this is how I store them at the moment, on a piece of wood stuck on the wall. Fortunately, I do have a room with a few wall-mounted Skadis organisers that are in desperate need of organising. Wall-mounted Skadis organisers. Skadis. It just rolls off the tongue. Skadis. And so I made this, which may look simple but has a few unique quirks that make it the perfect watch holder for my growing Casio collection. This stunning Casio that is my most recent one actually is what prompted this whole project, since its strap does not allow me to put it up on this flimsy wood with flimsy cardboard branding. So when I first thought of moving my watches to the Skadis pegboards, I looked at what's already out there. The problem is, these simple ones are huge, made for all and just basic. Ugh, basic. I fell in love with this one, even rinsed what little money I had left to buy TPU filament for the cushions, and then I thought about the long term. And this just isn't feasible for the long term. I have a dream to one day own 365 Casios. Whether it'll happen, I don't know. While most Casios are cheap, some are not as cheap, and when we're talking about owning 365 of them, that's gonna add up. So preferably I need to make a holder for the long term that I can print easily, is cost effective, and can potentially one day hold 365 Casios. Hopefully. So we are going back to basics. This space is in desperate need of some organizing in general. Like, I'm happy with how the holders have turned out here, but like the whole thing is a mess. This is definitely something we're going to sort out in a future video. If not for any other reason, I'm thankful that this channel will force me to finally deal with this. All this. Like these are logbook. Oh, I shouldn't show the information. These are logbooks. Here in the UK, when you own a car, this is like the registered keeper document of who owns the car. And I've got 3 V5s here. 3. But I only own one car. So I don't, are these like, am I keeping other people's V5s here of like cars that I've sold off? For legal reasons, I actually own 3 cars, okay? I need to sort all this out. But instead of using what's already out there, I created my own design, which is custom sized to my wrist. Hopefully I don't go fat in the next rest of my life. After designing and printing the first version, however, I realized even with this nice flat part for the watch face to lean on, they still kind of slide on the holder. I also didn't like this whole space inside that feels like it's just going to waste, and realized there's little improvements too that can be made, like just rounding off these corners. So back in Illustrator, round off the corners, added a little notch on the top to better hold the face, and make a little pocket for storage so the inside does not go to waste. It is still wild to me that here in our lifetime, like growing up, there were things made in big factories with production lines, but now we live in a time where I can just make a vector, get my trusty 3D mechanic to turn it into a nice 3D file, and quite literally have the product made all within home and within an hour or so. Wild. What a time to live in. And here it is. Look at that notch in action. Really holds the watches up really well. And we have the pocket to store extra watch links, batteries, or even these tiny matching Casio watch rings. Why not? And yeah, you may have noticed, I use the space here to also make labels with this simple laser sticker printer. So each watch has its own specific holder. I'm going to make the STL files for these available in the description in a few different sizes. And now I got to fix my bigger issue, being too broke to fill up these watch holders.